What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Hometown Podcast. It's your boy P. Moore. I'm here with my buddies
Nick J.
Logan B.
Today we've got a very special guest for the first episode. We wanted to bring in one of our closest friends, J-Rob. Come on in, J-Rob. That's our guy. What's up,
y'all flattered.
Yo, leave me hanging like that? There we go.
What's going on, Justin?
Welcome, Justin.
Appreciate it.
J-Rob.
Glad to be here. Ready for this
man.
podcast.
Yep.
So we're just getting things set up. It's a new location, if y'all noticed.
Brand new
Location.
spot.
Switching things up a little bit.
Yep.
Still in the same city. Got a new studio, new location. So we're gonna see if you guys like this new change. See what y'all think.
Yep. I'm really happy to be here. It's actually like 5 minutes away from my house, so it's kind of clutch.
So we're like 15 minutes away from here. This is the first podcast I've ever been on.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
This is pretty
Hell
cool.
yeah.
I'm super excited to have you guys. Well, today, what are we going to talk about
What you
today,
got?
boys?
We're going to got a good story
Well,
at the beginning.
Yeah, interesting story.
Might as well tie it back in. We were talking about it before we press record here, so I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Get back into it.
It's like the best combos are always off camera.
that is how it goes.
Well,
And then you
we
turn it
got
on and now
amazing
you're.
But no,
combo.
that whole trip was insane, by the way.
And tell them what trip
We're talking about my birthday, my 19th birthday
Nashville.
trip in Nashville.
Bet.
But
Sorry.
no, it's all good. We were talking about my 19th birthday trip and how Nick got the nickname Chunks.
I wouldn't say it's a nickname, but yes, it
He
is.
does not like it at all.
It's growing on him. It's growing on him.
It's part of his reputation.
But it was yeah, we got really fucked up that trip. I still have a video. We brought 6 bottles of alcohol. I still have one of the big.
Do you still have that vodka?
The vodka. How big is that vodka?
That
bottle?
that's a handle. That was a 175 liter.
Yeah.
That thing.
God damn.
It's fucking.
We killed that shit.
Well,
So-
most times when you get like a 175, it's a bit, if you get the, your pops used to have the 175 as a
It's like
gem.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's girthy, but this one was just skinny.
It was
and just super
skinny and
tall.
Long as fuck, like a New Amsterdam bottle.
It was from
Similar to
Costco.
that.
Or no,
Yeah.
Ciroc. That's what I was thinking of.
It was
Ciroc bottle.
Similar to that.
Yeah.
It was just wider and
Bigger.
taller.
Damn.
But yeah, so it was the first night. I killed the whole bottle
Was
of
it the
Malibu.
first night?
The first night I killed the bottle of Malibu. You killed most of the tequila.
Probably.
I'm trying to remember what.
Broke like 3 glasses.
Broke a couple glasses. We were dancing on the table.
Surprised you didn't break any of the lights hanging above the
Dude.
island.
Motherfucker jumped up on the island, grabbed a light, and started singing into
Yeah.
it.
Hey, man's a
Oh
rock
my
star.
god, that was
It's a great
that was
trip,
insane.
man.
Did y'all
It
get
was
charged
awesome.
for that? Any extra fees?
No, they took the listing right. They took the listing off of Airbnb as soon as we left.
Yeah.
So
I'll
Chill
fuck
back
it up.
there. They said
They
no
were
more. They
not.
said no more than like what 5 people in there.
yeah.
We probably
So
like
They said no
10.
parties at all.
our
actually.
first night,
Y'all just laughed it off, didn't you?
Yeah, our first night, I had my friends from Midway, just like 6 girls, came up, chilled with us, and it was me, shout out Colin Hall, Mark Hall, Nick Holler, who else was in that bitch?
Was
Well,
Kyle?
Sebastian.
No, I went out with Kyle.
Sebastian, Van, and then all the shorties pulled up. So we were like 15, 20.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people in
It was a
Airbnb.
fairly big house for real.
But there was enough space.
I
for
love
it.
that place, man.
Because they had a really big living room, and then like the kitchen was decently sized.
2 bedrooms.
So we were all around 2 bedrooms. Justin didn't want to sleep on the
It
jail
was
bed.
like an open. It was
I
like
put,
an
I
open
put
house
Lily
too.
back on that bitch.
It was like an open
Oh,
house.
man.
Like you could like walk around like in the
Yeah,
circle.
there's, like-
all
Oh,
the
for
rooms
real?
connected. So like
It was awesome.
It's like there was literally like a hole right there you could walk through and then fucking.
There's also like
the bathroom. The bathroom
like a
had 2
sunroom you
doors.
can walk
so
into as well.
You could walk
Yeah.
into the
And then
bathroom like
backpack.
this, from like the general entrance, walk into the bathroom, and there's a side door to the bedroom. You could walk in from the bedroom. That was pretty cool.
It was tight, but yeah, we had a lot of open space, so there wasn't really anything getting in our way. But the funniest thing was that they texted me when I early in the morning and were like, "Hey, the neighbors complained. Do I need to remind
forgot
you
about
no
that.
more parties?" And we were.
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We had some friends over. My bad." And then
And that was the first night?
yeah.
Yeah,
First-
They should have
second-
kicked y'all out, right?
The second
there.
night was worse because second night was your actual birthday, right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
First night was just a pregame. We were just chilling. Second night we actually did some birthday shots and birthday,
no.
stuff for him. But
We went off Top Golf that night, right?
that was the last night.
That was
That was Sunday. Yeah, that was Sunday.
And then we left Monday.
No, because Saturday.
No.
Saturday we went.
We only stayed 2 nights. We came home Sunday morning. So Saturday, right? We only stayed 2 nights, right?
We left. Yeah, we left Saturday morning because
No, we left
Justin.
Sunday morning.
No. I mean,
Friday night,
we
Saturday
left
night.
to get there. Saturday, I thought.
Was it?
I thought I called in Friday and we left. And
Yeah.
I think it was
Friday.
Friday.
We stayed there from Friday
Yeah, because
until
we had
Sunday
Bob
morning.
Evans on Sunday.
And when was this, for context, for the viewers? Year, month.
September of 2020.
2020.
2020.
So 2
Golly.
years ago, year and a half ago.
Yeah, year and a half ago. But so we on Saturday we got it lit. Nick poured me. What were they like? Not they weren't the wide.
Oh, this
wine
is back
glasses.
in Nick's heyday too, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That just made this all make more sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So
yeah.
they weren't like the cup wine glasses. They were like the more like cylinder type.
It's
Fancy.
made for like mimosas.
They have the stem.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
He
yeah.
poured like
Okay. Champagne
three-
kind of glass.
He said he poured me 3 shots. He poured them halfway for each single cup with my double shot glass.
Oh my god.
He had a lot.
And so when it hit midnight, I took the 1 shot, killed the first one.
No.
Then I got the second one, and I was like, I got to burp.
Yeah,
And
we
so
had
I
lined
set
up.
it down, burped, grabbed a drink, and then started singing because our buddy's song was playing.
Nice. Nice.
So
Was it Mark's song that was playing?
yeah, it was Mark's.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I don't know. Dolce & Gabbana.
Those are good.
Yeah, it was Dolce
Yeah.
& Gabbana.
But so Justin, we introduced ourselves last time. So do you want to tell them a quick, keep it short and sweet, like 30 seconds. Introduce yourself.
I'm Justin. I'm 24. Known him since when? Like not third grade.
Second grade for
Second
me, third grade for you.
Yeah.
So that would have been 2005, no, 2006.
Yeah, 2006. My little brother's 3 years younger than me, so he was in like pre-K.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sheesh.
I met him at my job. Met him with these guys.
A couple years ago, yeah. Back when he had the
2000.
the flow. Back when he had the
long
flow.
Hey, straight Jesus over here. What was Jesus white? I don't know.
He went. I remember
Jesus
he
definitely
Oh, no,
They
wasn't
say
white.
they say he
Definitely
was,
wasn't
but
white.
we know he
portray
wasn't.
him as white, but is it?
He was Middle Eastern.
Don't think
right?
he
I
was
don't know.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But that's
No,
not
but
what
didn't
sells.
human life? I thought like human life came from Africa. That's where it started.
What's the motherland? That's what they
Yeah.
say. All
It is
all
motherland.
life originated from there.
So then where did the white people come from?
I was
South
listening to
Africa.
Tarzan's
You know,
not.
I was listening to something that was on Rogan
A lot of
last
South
week,
Africans
and
are-
Rogan
Probably one of
said,
That's true though.
well, look, Rogan said the whole world, the whole population, came from like 7,000 people, and they were all the same race. So everybody you know, every race came from these 7,000 people. So the only reason our skin is different colors and stuff. Living in Africa for over these years, the sun's hot,
The
you're
pigment.
out, the pigment of your skin changes, evolution. The generations go by, y'all are darker in Europe. It's colder. There's less sun. Your skin loses that pigment.
A lot more
You get
people
pale.
out there.
So that's why. But literally, we're all the same, just different colors.
Is that part of that human bottleneck theory?
Yeah, and
Is
it's
that what it
like
is?
we all came from the same people, which is the climate and the environment that we're in makes us, change skin color. But really, we're all the same.
yeah. I
I
wish.
kind of wonder how the Indians got here, though. The Native Americans.
Same thing with language. You're born, raised somewhere. You learn that language. You speak differently. You have a different accent. But really, we're all the same.
I
family.
wish
Yeah.
everybody had that mentality because the world would be just such a safer, nicer place than
Yeah.
it is right now.
If we all just realize we come from the same origins, right?
So-
like no matter how different we are.
Yeah, so I was at a party Friday with my homies because my friend from Michigan came to Frankfurt, so
Yeah.
we all kicked it or whatever. And so we were talking about how Louisville is now getting worse than Detroit.
It's becoming the next
They
shot, right, bro?
they said that Detroit is so much nicer than
What?
it used to be now. Yeah,
That's
Detroit.
crazy.
They said
Fucking
Detroit is
what?
not as bad as it used to be. That Louisville is rough. Like, cause there was this girl that her and her fiance they live in Louisville, but they're from Detroit, and they're like, Detroit is so much better than Louisville
What the
right now,
fuck?
crime wise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we're
insane.
definitely the next shot.
That's
Right?
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I believe it.
I'm rocking the new bracelet for my buddy AJ, his big sister TT. She got shot 2 years ago.
Yeah. She worked with me.
RIP.
She worked at UPS in the
Worked
same
UPS with me.
building as us.
She had her
Oh wait, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, she worked at Unload.
You were all over me about that. You were telling me all about that.
Yep, she worked in the same building as us. RPTT.
Didn't
Yeah.
that happen down by the Louisville campus?
It was in I think it was in Butchertown. They found him. They found him in
Butchertown.
They
We got
found,
scary names in
What the
Louisville, too.
fucking odds?
they found her and old dude that was with her in Butchertown. So they shot him somewhere and they moved the car to Butchertown. So
That's fucked up.
it's crazy. But yeah, it's again, and my where I get my car fixed is down there too. So I'm like, bruh,
Yeah.
it's insane.
And it's like you see it changing. So like, not to say where exactly we're at here in Louisville, but the place that I moved from, like 10, 15 minutes away, I grew up there. And so as a kid, it was like clean area. You know, you didn't really think shit of it. Out riding bikes when we were kids, like nothing. You wouldn't think twice about it being a safe area. Now today, on every intersection coming out of all the little shopping centers, you got people with signs up collecting money. There's literally homeless people just walking around.
Yeah.
There's what look like literal prostitutes walking the street, like, and those people were not there 10 years ago, but now that's normal.
I
you
saw
know?
a dude.
Like,
Saw a dude 2 days ago, no shoes on, walking down Glazer, right by the church right there, fighting air. No shoes on. Had a Gatorade bottle in his hand. He was fighting somebody. He was kicking that ass.
and you used to only see
Crack that man on.
you used to only see that shit downtown Louisville. That's where that shit stayed at. That's where those people stayed at, and it was just accepted. Like, oh, okay, well that's that's downtown. And now it's like that shit's slowly inching its way out into the suburbs. Like, right?
Right about now in Louisville, the only good places to live are in the outskirts of Louisville, like Simpsonville, not Dixie for sure.
No, Dixie is
Shelbyville.
Fisherville's good.
So bad.
Shelbyville.
Middletown.
Out
Like
Middletown.
kind of back in Middletown.
Yeah, and even certain spots there. I
'Cause
mean,
there was a carjacking a couple months ago in Middletown.
Yeah, we
Shit's
the
everywhere.
The other night, me and my friend Kennedy, shout out Kennedy, but we were in Middle. She lives in Middletown, lives in that area. So we were riding around getting snacks and whatever, because we were about to have like a movie night or whatever, kicking it. And
little sleepover.
Shut up, no. But
Slumber party.
so we were driving around and we all of a sudden see these. We're in Walmart. We all of a sudden see like 6 cops fly past us. So we're like, we're gonna go eavesdrop, as a normal kid our age would.
Mm-hmm.
We pull up there. They've got 10 cops right by the Renaissance Fun Park, and so they've got like 4 cops with flashlights, like scanning the fence and whatever. And so we download like the police scanner app, and apparently somebody had shot a gun up in the air during a fight, and then ditched the gun and took off. And so they found that they had like the codes on the police scanner app, and so they found the gun and they found the kid, but like we were just watching it all unfold. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But it's wild now, man.
And that's
Something
starting
my
to
grandma would do.
that's starting to be normal.
Yeah.
That's starting to be like you telling that story. It's like it doesn't surprise me.
It's just like entertaining at this point.
Yeah.
My neighborhood isn't all that great either. We have Section 8 housing at the end of our street, so we got gangs down there. I know.
Yeah.
There's this tall, dark-skinned guy that I know he sells drugs. I've seen him do drug deals.
Obvious,
there's
probably broad
one-
daylight
There's
too, right?
one time I was going off to work at the end of my street to the left, going towards crap, I can't say that school. But he was standing in the middle of the road, waving a gun around while there's 5 cop cars, guns aimed on him.
Holy
Jeez.
shit!
Not only that, but I got apartments behind my house that are bad. I found needles behind our garage.
Damn.
A little baggy, bro.
See, and that's what a lot of this ties back into is the drug problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these people are on, who knows what drugs, but heroin, meth. Like they're up for days. They're desperate. They're willing to do anything for money, and it just further makes the problem
Well,
worse.
they have nothing
Like,
to lose,
Especially when you live in Section 8 housing.
mhm.
Like, and even in our area, like you said, it used to be downtown. Now it's everywhere. And I'll come home from work and I'll stop at the gas station to get a snack or whatever it may be after work. And I'm
Because you were third shift. So
Yeah,
what time is this?
I work
that you're-
third shift, so I get off around 4:00 in the morning.
Yep.
So I'm driving home 4:30, 5:00 a.m. And I'm not even like over exaggerating this to tell the story, but I guarantee you at least probably 100 to 200 times they'll stop, say anything from, hey, can I get $1? Can you buy me a beer? To, yo, can I get a ride down to fucking Jerk? Can I get a
That's
ride?
the scariest one.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, there's no chance in hell I'm gonna let you in my car. Sometimes I do give them $1, but very rarely, because then all that does is just.
You'd rather want to buy them a meal, or buy them clothes or something.
Help them in some way, like
instead of fueling whatever.
Probably
That's what I
buy
found was the
alcohol
best,
or buy
because
nicotine or whatever, with that money.
or drugs.
Because if you say no, I don't want to give you money, I'll give you a meal though. Most of them just be like, fuck off.
Yeah. Because they could be using the money you're going to give them to buy alcohol or drugs.
Yep. To tie into that, I had a buddy of mine. He always gives, like, when he sees someone on the side of the road, or like with a sign or something, at an intersection, whatever, he'll find whatever little loose change or a couple dollars he's got, and he'll roll the window down and give it to the guy. He's been doing that for years. Says he feels bad for people, whatever. So here recently, within the past few weeks, same situation happens. There's a guy with a sign. He reaches around his car. He has no dollar bills, right? So he finds what change he's got. He said, a couple quarters, couple dimes, probably 90 cents, right? Right at $1. He kind of puts his hand out the window. The dude comes. He hands him the change, right? He said the dude takes a couple steps, looks down at the money, slings it up in the air. Fucking goes flying everywhere. He's pissed. He's got his, like, mom in the car, girlfriend in the back. This is Kimball for the story. But he's freaking out. He's ready to get out and beat this guy's ass, right? And, of course, the people with him are like, no, like, it's not worth it. Obviously, it's not. But that just goes to show you, like, these people are almost, they don't even want the help. Like, they're just fueling.
These beggars are trying to be choosers.
Literally.
You can't do that when you're begging.
Which doesn't make sense. Why? Like, it's almost like we're fueling it as people.
Well, they've already made the choice in their head to sabotage themselves and sabotage the rest of their life. So it's like, the easy way out. They could easily make a change and get cleaned up. I mean, I don't want to say easily, but
they could, though.
It can happen.
They could.
And,
I mean, it's just like us. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I had an issues a couple years ago where I was literally looking at my life and saying, like, I'm right here at this point where it's like, if I just let go and do what I'm doing, like, it was at the point where I could have been out there, with a fucking sign. But you had to just make the choice where it's like, to be disciplined, because like everybody, it's like,
I mean, I'm game for sending some toe pics.
All of us know. Everybody in the world knows. I honestly think everybody in the world knows, like, right from wrong, what they should do.
Hashtag the mock cards.
You know what I mean? Like, fucking even some homeless man out there, he knows in his mind, like, the right thing to do would be go get a job, stop using drugs,
but
do this. Everybody knows, but it's just about being able to be disciplined enough to actually do the things that is going to better your life.
And also having the willpower for it.
Yeah, and
it's like being disciplined,
Sometimes people aren't that strong. Addiction is a bitch.
Yeah.
If you've got a rough life and you bring in addiction with that, you don't have a lot of help. So, I mean, it's just certain instances where people are just lazy and don't feel like stopping, or they've got something mentally wrong with addiction.
And the big issue is that
and
the biggest thing
they can't get help.
And the biggest thing about, like, getting sober and staying sober is having, like, a support system. Even if it just be one person, somebody to support you, people who you can talk to. And a lot of these people, they're homeless. They've probably stolen from their family or from their friends. They're pissed off in the relationship they have.
They've lost those connections.
They have no support. So getting sober is even going to be 1,000 times worse for them,
And then comes the pain, because they usually are trying. A lot of times when a lot of people try to use substances or drink alcohol, it's usually to suppress something.
To try to cope.
Yep.
I mean,
like, that's the only release they get, because there's no one else there to help them.
Yeah.
And even if they do go sober, like, for some people, they need that accomplishment. They need someone to say, wow, you're doing great. Like, I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say they haven't used in a while. They get no recollection. They're like, man, why am I even trying to be sober?
Yeah.
Because they're not getting...
Point?
So that's why, being in NA or AA helps. You'll get your 1 week. You get 24 hours sober. You'll get a coin for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then you get 48. And then after that, it goes to a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. But people live and die for those coins, It's just to be like, all right, I'm doing this for a reason. And then, you go up to I've been to NAA before, and you go and everybody will clap for you. You meet friends there. You have a great community. And I think instead of taking these people to jail and shit, offer them some help. Offer them to go to treatment. Offer them to get a what's it called? A sponsor. Someone to guide them.
And that's when sometimes people are so stuck in their ways that they're like, why the fuck are they trying to give me
There's a
help?
great story about what we're talking about. There's this guy on TikTok, and he's got the #1 TikTok page. Like, I cry watching his videos, and he'll go and he'll act like he's broke or act like he has nothing, and he'll ask a homeless man, hey man, can I have $1 to get some food or get a bus ticket? And the homeless person will give them $1. He goes, you know what? I don't need that. I was seeing the first person to show me some kindness. I actually want to give you $5,000. Right? So we did this with some guy. He's like, hey, will you play hopscotch with me? Just to see if, like, he wouldn't even ask him. The guy played hopscotch with him. He got him a haircut, got him a job, a brand new car, an apartment. He literally went from being a homeless man to now he looks handsome. You know, fresh
well
skin.
established.
He has a job. He's dressed
Cleaned
up.
up.
And, you know, and I'm not saying because this dude probably put, you know, $15,000-$20,000 into this project helping this guy out. But just to see him smiling, having a job, his family probably came back in touch with him. That's what we need to do to these people. Like
Because doing that to someone could change their thought process, their way of life.
Oh, yeah.
They won't be so stuck in their ways.
And like this dude, you know, that's generational, changing for generational. You know, if you have a homeless man, he's not gonna, even if he does start a family, he's not gonna teach them or bring them up the right way. You teach this guy, you know, you get him right, get him back into a job. He can teach his kids. That's gonna help society, you know, to prosper. And just it starts with just one person on the street.
It's you know, we need better communities. Like I feel like that's what's missing right now.
Speaking of communities, we need better school communities. We need a better learning program. We don't need to be teaching kids Common Core math.
Man,
We
wasting
need to teach
wasting
them how
their
to do
time.
their taxes,
My God.
how to cook, how to clean.
Yep.
We
How
need to
just
pay
go
teachers more. We need to pay teachers more. Teaching should be, in my opinion, like a top 10, top 20 paid profession because this is literally the future of the world.
And it should be
like,
competitive. Like you
Yeah.
should have to be an actual
Yeah,
like,
because
smart, hardworking person
They
to
literally
teach kids.
need to fill the vacancies because they don't have anybody. So they're bringing in like police officers, football coaches, whoever that will take 25, 30 a year.
Why do you think?
Because like the people who are actually, and I don't want to like stop you, but people who are actually like qualified for this job, like people who like love to teach the youth, not just like know school numbers, but who are actually good at teaching and like will be compassionate with kids.
And work with them.
They're so like they feel like they bring too much quality to go work at a public school for $36,000 and get spit on,
And-
right?
yeah,
so
and-
you're gonna
and-
get these people who aren't top tier, who aren't gonna be the
Aren't
best
quality
teachers because they're like, I'll take that, you
just
know.
like what would happen with the dude from Moore. Like
I don't know what happened with the dude. What happened with dude from Moore?
A dude choked out a kid, and it's happened multiple times. And
What, teacher choked out a student?
and they didn't fire him, right?
Nope, didn't fire him. These teachers don't give a fuck. They're just trying to survive, man.
Yeah.
Just get a paycheck.
Why do you think?
like,
Why do you think that like the United States is so like far down in the
Like we need to be more like
education
we need-
list? It's
we need-
crazy.
We need to be more like the European schools out there. Their
It's another reason I want
their
to
education
do
over
that,
there
bro.
and their turnout
Crazy.
rate for smart kids, bro, is
I just
unreal
think,
compared to what we put
need,
out.
which I'm kind of contradicting myself saying we need more quality teachers, but also what I want to say would be to have more schools because I just think individual attention. You know, you have these huge schools
With 35 kids in a classroom.
35 kids.
The
in a
teacher
classroom,
can barely handle probably 15 of them.
and the
you know?
teacher, the administration, the staff are all focused on who? The
Biggest
bad
hotspot
kids. The bad kids, right? Like.
I mean,
like,
at that point,
we go
it's
into
a-
our school.
it's a daycare.
Like if you're not like very like not misbehaving, but you're just struggling, you're not going to get that attention because the attention's going to the kids that bringing drugs in or bringing guns in, you know, and all this. And then we have a shitty football team, but who's ever the best player on the football team, even if we go 2-10, they're still going to get a little star. It's like they just don't focus on actually. And and this is like all public school. I don't want to speak for every public school.
I
but
feel like this is most public schools
Yeah.
here
That's how my
in
school is.
Louisville.
The
I mean, we
thing
could probably
that I
all
hate
relate
about
to that.
schools nowadays.
it's like an adolescent daycare. A lot of
Shit.
high schools. It's like they're not
I
actually
know.
preparing you for them. It's like your parents are at work. Come here for 7 periods. We'll throw some curriculum at you. A couple
Mhm.
fights,
But
and
here's
you'll go
another
home.
thing. Here's another thing too. What school, what public school in the JCPS system has uniforms or any structure at all?
Was it D Sales?
One.
Seneca
DeSales.
had
DeSales.
uniform.
That's not common.
Seneca
Yeah.
doesn't have uniforms anymore.
Not anymore, but back when I went there,
Fern Creek had uniforms. Moore used to have uniforms. None of them. They need to go back to the traditional system so they can teach these kids some structure
And discipline.
and
I
discipline.
agree.
Accountability,
a lot
too,
of
is a
people-
big
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
A lot of people
Maybe
like,
they
dude.
won't-
I never even really got into like, which I mean, every kid does. If you say you didn't at all, then you're kind of lying about wanting to be cool and wanting to fit in. But like,
Oh, well,
I didn't get too deep into that. Like, I was just kind of doing my own thing. Like, I played sports and I would smoke weed. Like, weed is my thing because like I wasn't worried about being cool. I was worried about 220. I'll go home and smoke and like chill by myself. Like, I was trying to get away from all that.
Shit.
I wasn't trying to be
And
extracurricular.
what you just brought up is so key. Like popularity in the public school system here, it's like if you're not cutting class, smoking weed, fucking girls, like people look down on you almost.
Yeah, like you're not
which
cool.
is ass backwards to how it really is in the real world.
They kind of see you as like, I know you, but I don't fuck with you.
Yeah, like you're a square almost, and you're written off, and you're ridiculed almost.
Yeah.
So then you have no choice but to either conform with everybody else or go off in your own lane, which is like, that's hard to do, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like, and then we all figure it out 3 years after graduation,
Yeah.
and we're like, why did we do that? But in the moment, you want to be liked by your peers, and especially at that age, by girls, right? You want to get girls. And
yeah.
so you see like the guys who are skipping class or the guys who are dumb, and they're the ones pulling. You're sticking to your grind. You're working. You're working
getting
out,
good grades,
and you're like, these girls aren't interested in me. And of course, if you're just an absolutely handsome stud, they will be. But it also seems like good guys finish last. It seems true. If you've actually been down that alley, like P here, he could be a nerd. He's still gonna pull. For us average Joes, might not be the case. So then, even if you know right from wrong, you're like, damn, I'm gonna start maybe like I'm gonna cut, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, kind of for acceptance. A lot of times for female acceptance, and you don't notice it.
Yeah, and well, nowadays,
very true.
Who fucking knows what's going on inside of a girl's head at this point? Because
that's a whole podcast right there.
I feel like
God.
I think guys lie to themselves. I think guys lie to themselves sometimes about this whole like girls love douchebags things, right? Because they'll get hurt one time by some guy who they think they're nicer than. Like the girl chooses the guy, so they get off on this thing. Like nice guys finish last, and they start acting like a total dick, which is just the opposite. Because like girls still do, even in this generation, they still want a sweet, caring, compassionate man.
That's not a. At that
they
point,
just don't want someone who's soft.
That's the biggest
thing.
At
that point, that is not a girl, or that is not a woman. That's a girl.
Right, but there's a difference. There's a difference between
too.
like being compassionate and loving and caring and affectionate and like attentive.
Yeah.
And then being soft and being beta or whatever. You can still be a man, stick your chest out, be decisive, be assertive, and still be a sweetheart.
But
people always think it's black and white. You can do both.
Stay yourself. Don't change for no one.
Right.
That's key.
Exactly.
That is key.
Because once you change for someone, they fell in love with the person you were before that you changed.
Yeah. Can't let them change you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Once they change you, they won't love you no more. You're not that person they fell in love with.
Right. You're different.
Don't let them ever control you, ever. Once they do that, your life's over.
And they'll
you start disconnecting with family, friends.
Facts.
Yep. Start doing shit way differently than you ever would have before.
Friends ask you for help, you can't be there.
Let me throw
Why?
something
Because
at
you have a
y'all.
controlling girlfriend.
Let me throw something at y'all. I had a little idea that I was talking about. So it's about kind of towing the line of that a lot of people, especially our age, our demographic, really is about this topic. Like the difference between YOLO, you only live once, and also preparing for your future. Like somehow being able to say like you only live once. Take that trip, do that. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever the case may be, but also not fucking your future up and being able to
not affordable.
See, that's a good topic. Shit, I couldn't even tell you where it's at. That's a good topic to bring up because it's like there's two sides to it. There's the YOLO, like you could in theory die tomorrow. So you want to have had fun while you were here,
right?
But on the flip side, what if you live till 90 years old? Like,
I hope I don't live to 90 years old. I want to be able to wipe my ass when I die.
But like, all right, so to put it in perspective, I have a grandfather right now, 98 years old. He still lives on his own. He still drives a car. There's no nurse living in his house. Like, he is still self-sufficient. Now, mind you, does the family help him at different times? Yes, but he lives alone.
That's a sturdy man.
Exactly. And when I see that, I go, like, how can I be 98 and still function? Because what you said is right. You don't want to be 90 and
I don't want to have
someone's wiping your ass for you.
Wash me.
Like, that's dead.
I want
But
to be able to still cook my own meals. I want to be a vegetable.
yeah,
Okay, so
I agree. I agree with that.
I actually understand where you're going with that because with like my great grandma, she's the same way. Because you like with the whole you only live once aspect, you don't want to have that mindset for the rest of your life.
Right.
Like fucking up your like it's cool to party at our age. I'm 20 years old. Am I gonna still go out and fucking party all the time? Probably.
Yeah.
But I still work and I still pay my own bills. But you don't want to waste so much parts of your life fucking your own body up
Yeah.
just for nights that you barely remember.
Right.
Like the stories will be cool.
Yeah.
Like our Nashville trip, that was cool, but we're all
I don't
bunch of
really remember half the
youngsters.
trip. I actually thought about this by myself the other day in the shower. I'm like, we got there, we were sending. When we left and got in the car, we were sending. So it was like I don't remember a whole lot of the trip.
I was already like buzzed. I was already like 12 shots
But
in.
one thing,
by the
We
time
were 10
got to
shots
the
in
Uber.
Sunday morning.
one thing I want to say,
At like 8,
fucking
9 in the morning.
yeah, we
10
did.
shots in at 9 in the morning.
We started walking around the neighborhood taking pictures of it. Not gonna lie, me and Hippo got some fire pics.
Yeah, we did.
I was taking a nap because I was tired.
But look, check me out. So like people always say, and it's so famous, and I even said it, YOLO, you only live once, but I just disagree because you live every day. Like last week, it was a great example. I had a terrible day. You know, my girlfriend is Ukrainian. She was born and raised in Ukraine and moved here like just a couple years ago. So a lot of friends and family still there. So when that news first happened, there was family texting her saying we're in the basement, our house is shaking, our windows got blasted out. One of her friends they tried to escape and they actually killed her mother. So very terrible day. I'm hearing about all this. My mom calls me her best friend, childhood best friend, went to St. A's. She passed away of cancer. Rainy day, terrible. So I'm just like terrible mood all day. I go to work, it's a sad day. And I wake up the next day, it's bright outside. My girlfriend's smiling, she got some good news. I got a good pump, and I'm like, yo, you really do live every day. Because the way I felt yesterday and the way I feel today, like I was in the shower just like literally like thanking God, like, wow, like that's crazy. You literally get an opportunity. Every day you wake up. That's why some people say they wake up, thank you, God, just for waking me up.
Mm-hmm. It's a blessing.
It's such a blessing.
Yeah.
We take it for granted, but you can literally, like, you live every day. Yesterday was shitty. Today can be amazing. And that thrill of you live every day. You think about it like that. You don't live once. Take care of yourself because you live every day.
Every day can be different.
Yeah, a lot of people think that life's supposed to be some sort of just incline.
I'm glad you just brought that up. Yeah.
Life is not just an incline.
It's highs and lows, right?
It's highs and lows. It'll dip down. If you look, you can look at it like a flow chart. Honestly,
But when you get to them lows, you better appreciate the fuck out of the highs. That's
yeah,
where
you gotta appreciate it, and you gotta work hard to get back up.
and
to the
spend
highs.
your time. Why, trying to speak you.
Spend your time wisely.
Like when you're up in that high.
Yeah.
Take your time and enjoy that.
Appreciate that.
You know, like a lot of people, call on God and they pray when they're down and they need something. God, please do this for me. But when you're up, when you get that promotion, when you get that girl, whenever you're feeling like, do you ever look around and say, man, thank you, God? Like people always ask God for miracles, but they never thank Him for the blessings they get.
Exactly.
You know, and you have to be aware of that. And also, like something that used to piggyback on that, something I learned when I was in treatment is that life is going to go up and life is going to go down. And when you're addicted or you're a user, you always want to be up. But you know, it's a roller coaster.
But then the lows are twice as low. I feel like that's the thing about like using substances and even drinking as well. Is you get the higher highs, but what you don't realize is you're getting lower lows.
Yes.
Which you're worse off because those lows are not like a natural low. You're not supposed to.
It's one step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And the best thing that I learned that I was there for 26 days and I took from me, the number one thing was just to be content, right? So I work Monday through Friday nights. I miss out on a lot of things. So back when I was having some issues, Saturday night was like, this is it, bro. Like, this is all I got.
Balls to the wall, right?
I'm going to get a fifth. Whatever happens, happens. You know, I'm like, I have to have fun. It's Saturday. I have to have fun. But now just being content, being like, it's Saturday. I don't got to work. I can just chill. I don't have to go get drunk. I don't have to go get high. I can just chill. I can go work out. I can play some bit. Just being content with being okay. Because what happens is when you have these traumas and you get arrested, you go to the hospital, you go to rehab, you feel so low, you're like, I don't even need to be partying. I just want to be back home and chill. I just like, that's fun for me now, just to be okay.
Yep.
You know, and then, so just being content, not basing your life off the highs and the lows, just being content.
Because when you're an addict, you're only looking for the next time you can get
the
that
next drink,
piece
the
of
next
high.
smoke.
That high, yeah, that's all you want.
And it's just a little high. It's not even.
You live your
Yeah,
life.
short-lived, ain't it?
You live your life between drinks. You know,
life is the high you want to be on. You don't want to be on that short drug high.
Life is the best high. Like you should be high on life. Like that should give you everything you need. Like,
also, a little quote that I got from Jake Paul, actually, beginning of the year.
Okay.
It's called "Overdosing on Discipline," and he's talking about how I haven't had sex, I haven't been drinking, and they're like, "Don't you need?" He's like, "Dude, I feel like when you wake up and you're like you've been eating good, you've been working out, you're in the best shape of your life." You get that natural high, that serotonin, that confidence. you're literally overdosing on discipline. You're like, I haven't done nicotine, I haven't drank, I've been working out. You're feeling so good and the best version of yourself. Literally, no alcohol, no drug can make you feel that. And it's like overdose on discipline. And you think about it, it's true. Like, have y'all ever set out a goal in your life and then you actually had to do the steps to do it and you got it, right?
Yeah.
How amazing that felt. So you set out this goal and every day you wake up, you know, and you're like, all right, check that off. I haven't smoked a single blunt today, I haven't taken a drink, but man, I feel good. You know,
and that's the difference between thinking like short-term happiness and long-term happiness. Like, it's that the long-term is what you want to focus on. Like, it's not going to be there right away, but after months and months of doing it, you're gonna fucking geese. You're gonna raise your level slowly.
Well,
slowly, which is good, not sporadically.
A good way of thinking is obviously never to be impulsive. Like, live, like I used to tell this to myself last year, a couple years ago. Like, I would live for Nick tomorrow, right? So live for your tomorrow. It's like, say you're hungry, you're like, man, I could eat like fucking a full ass cheese pizza right now, whatever. You know tomorrow you're gonna regret that. You're gonna feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
But in the moment you're like, nah. Like, that's all you want to do is eat that pizza. But you gotta just live for tomorrow, because when you wake up, you're gonna be like, man, I'm so glad I didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
And raise your baseline up. Like, that's what I don't think people realize with the long-term goals. Is like that is how you get that steady gradual incline. Like, of just being happier, you know, because like you're knocking things out, you're raising your level up. Like, that's really the key.
You have to challenge yourself. Running those wind sprints is not going to be fun. Eating that kale is not going to be fun.
No.
But you know, the way you feel and the way your body's performing after that, you're gonna be so glad that you did it.
Like, once you set standards for yourself, you need to stick to that.
Mm-hmm. And goals.
But like, don't set your standards too high for yourself, because like if you set them too high, you won't ever be able to reach them.
Yeah,
that's a very good point. I heard something that was like, you basically just want to try to get 1% better every day, because over the span of a year, you know, that's
365% better.
Yeah, you just tripled how good you are on a daily basis, and like you do that over 10 years. You know what I mean? That's the mindset you gotta have.
Set out reachable standards, reachable goals, but also have them to challenge you a little bit.
Right. You need that accountability. Like, you have to have something to look at to say like to remind you basically when you are in your moments of weakness, like you said with the pizza. You know, it's like, but when you know your goal is to eat healthy and be clean, it's like, you know, you can always go back to like, no, wait, that's why I'm not doing it.
And if you tell yourself you don't want to, you wake up tomorrow, you didn't, you're going to feel better, and you're going to have an extra boost of a shot of serotonin, being like, hell yeah, I did.
But you want to hear something that didn't work?
Something small like that. You get these little tiny trophies in your head, right? I really wanted that pizza, I didn't eat it. Boom, that's a little tick in your calling box, right? You fill those up day by day, little small stuff, right?
It's also good to have a good, like, support group around you too.
Yeah. That's a big key. Yeah, that's a big key.
You as long as you got like people that are pushing you to drive and be better every day, you're like, it's good to have that support group, because
they're always going to be there to push you to better yourself.
As much as the
remind you when you're off the path, they can help you. Like, no, man, come on, come back over here.
They keep you accountable. You keep them accountable. You get better.
And always appreciate that recognition they give you for that hard work you put in.
Yeah.
Because you may not hear that for a little while, or
you gotta give yourself pats on the back. You know,
that too. Yeah. Positive self-talk is key. Yeah. I can just I remember being in a position like where I didn't have it all together, and I thought, oh well, if I negatively talk to myself, like, come on, bitch, like, you know, like some shit you see on YouTube, even like David Goggins, for example, like he'll sit there and call you a pussy, call you this, call you that, and I remember adopting that myself and having that negative voice in my head to try to do things, and it never worked. Like it wasn't until I started doing the opposite, positively, like, no, come on, you got it, like you're smart, you can figure it out, like shit like that. It completely changed the way.
Then you don't want to let yourself down.
Yeah, and it's just
you don't want to let yourself down, because you hold yourself to a higher standard.
Yeah.
If you're beating yourself up all the time,
it lowers you. Yeah,
you're like, all right, I'm already like, whatever, I'll just go grab a little fifth or whatever. But when you're holding yourself to the standard, you're not drinking. And I'm using this as my example because this is my world, you know. My issue was, and then it's like, man, like, I haven't been drinking in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, man. I don't want to let myself down. If I go, yeah, sure, I can go get a pint, I'll be straight, but I don't want to let myself down because I've built my standard up to, you know, not grabbing that bottle.
Speaking on that, I'm pretty proud of myself. I haven't smoked in about 4 months.
Hey, congrats.
I went from hanging out with these motherfuckers. You smoked. We smoked.
Okay, yes, I did used to buy half O's every 2 weeks.
He
So
about to
every day, I would smoke 2 blunts.
We would
Damn.
get off work. We would get off
Big
work at the
smoke,
same time. We go to the parking lot of UPS, and like I said, 4 o'clock, 4:30.
What else you gonna do at that time
And
too?
he had the half ounce, and he'll go like roll up however much you want in there, because we had just started hanging out, so he didn't really know that I smoke big blunts.
Right.
And he's like, just roll whatever you want. I'm like, are you sure? I'm
I'm
like, I got
We're
three.
gonna get blitzed out of this one.
And I'll roll like 2, because I have a pack of swishers, so I'll roll 2 like gram blunts, straight up just 2 grams, just roll it down.
I mean, we did get better as well.
Golly.
And I feel
We
like
get so high in that parking lot.
looking at it now, it's like you really don't need that much weed. Like I feel like weed is so strong nowadays that like anything over like
Bro, you can
5 or 6 hits is almost you're not getting any.
One thing I
take
used
like
to have.
2 Jeeps and be folded.
One thing
Yeah.
I used to have called the dart. It was like a mechanical pinch.
Little one hitter, right?
Yeah. If I could get that again, just
And that's
small blunts
really-
a day. That's all I need.
And that's all you need. That's
It's
the
just
thing.
maintaining your tolerance. Like once you go and
Yeah.
have these reefer parties, like we used to
It's a
do
good
in
way
high
to put
school.
it. Reefer party. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what we used to call it, man. I remember my first time, like really, like I would smoke with Luke, and we'd get like a little GB or whatever. But first time, like really, like having a smoke party. My mom or my dad was not married, but was with this girl who had twins, Brett and Tanner. Y'all know them.
Shout out Brett and Tanner.
So they left. Our parents would leave at 4 in the morning to go to Ford. So we acted like we would sleep on the couch like this. We had like probably like 4 or 5 grams. But back then, that's like a pound.
Yeah.
And we're like acting like we're asleep. We hear them leave at 4 a.m. to go to Ford like this. And I shit you not, me and Brett, we put on Bob Marley. Was like ganja, and like smokes like a bunch. And like it's the first time like getting like real high,
Spot on right there.
And I could feel like it felt like gears in my body. I could feel my blood moving through my body and the gears turning and like lava
and that's something that's not talked about. Like they talk about binge drinking and like how bad that is for you, but no one wants to talk about binge smoking. Like, and I feel like nowadays that's like the problem we have. People our age, like most of the time they're bigger smokers than they are drinkers.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
our generation is binge weed smokers.
Literally.
not binge cigarette
well,
smokers.
I was the biggest advocate for weed my whole life. I mean, I started smoking at like 11 or 12 and pretty much became daily when I was 14 in high school.
Yep.
Like daily
I started
smoker.
when I was 13, 14 for the
And
first time.
Actually,
I always
I-
vouch for it, and even still, I refer to it as medicine. But if I could go back and never smoke a day in my life, then I would, because it does, like, it is addicting. No matter what nobody says, weed is very addicting. Obviously you could put it down, but you're still
It's
gonna.
it's downplayed.
You're
Isn't
still
it?
gonna,
Like,
you're still gonna want to get high. That feeling of getting high, and it does like. I used it as like a night, like, all right, I'm gonna smoke and then go do this. It was like I'm gonna mow the grass, I'm gonna knock my shit out, and if I do it, then I'll have my time to relax. So I use it as a motivating factor. While some people will be like, I'm gonna smoke before I mow the grass. They end up smoking, eating a ham sandwich, and watching Dr. Phil for 2
laying
hours.
on the couch.
You want to know
Daddy
who
Phil.
introduced me to weed?
It's
LB.
yeah, same. Well,
At,
pretty
like,
much the same
but
with
it
me.
was like 6th, 7th grade though.
Yeah. Well, I started. My first time I ever got high was with our friend, in 7th grade, and then 8th grade it turned into like pretty much every Saturday, every weekend, and then by freshman year it was every day.
And that's how it progresses. Like I feel like almost everyone that smokes weed has that same story or something similar, where they start small with their friends when they're young, and then it becomes an every weekend. Like this is how we party, and then the next thing you know, you're a daily smoker.
And it's about who you're
Like,
around too. Say Luke never got into like the bigger smoking, the blunts and the joints, and just stayed with GBs. I probably would have just been a GB, a little pipe guy.
Mhm.
But he's rolling up 4 or 5 blunts. I'm like, all right, I'll roll up a blunt. Then I turn into I'm by myself. All right, I want to try to roll a blunt by myself.
Yep.
Then the next week I'm rolling. Then it's just I have a blunt everywhere I go.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I miss my Alien Labs rolling tray.
Yeah.
That was
Had
one thing
LED
I
lights on
really.
it. That's
Whoa.
the-
I
that's
wanted
the-
to keep that
I
in
still
California.
I still have my backwards one that switches different colors. LED
That's
lights.
tough. I ain't never seen
But,
a tray that lit
now-
up.
The
Bouncing off
Alien
that-
Labs, you can't buy those online. They're sold out.
Yeah, bouncing
Damn.
off that, I started smoking when I was like 13, but I didn't really get into it like that. I just got into drinking more. So when I got into college at 17, I was drinking every fucking night, even while I'm doing my homework. I would be drinking every fucking night, and then now, because fuck, I can barely even drink anymore because this shit.
Bro, I tried.
See, I went backwards. I feel like a lot of people start drinking in high school and then they figure out that's not what it is and they start going to weed. But I started weed so young. I didn't even drink in high school really. Like I wasn't a drinker. Like I said, I wanted to leave practice, leave school, go home and get high and chill. That was my thing. To be by myself and listen to music and chill. And then, so when it was like I graduated and like going into college when I first started really picking up the bottle. And then once I was in college, it got a lot worse. We're going to Lexington and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like college campuses, like is almost like drinking is promoted.
Yeah,
basically. And if you think about it too, you're going into college at 18, so it's not even like you really should be drinking. But yet,
you're not far.
17.
You're not far from drinking.
You're not far from drinking. You're either got fake IDs, or every party you go to it already has alcohol. Yeah,
that you have a friend that's already 21 and older.
Yeah,
everybody's got the OG.
We had the one person on campus. He was from.
You're welcome.
He was from. Well, they still have to buy me alcohol because I'm 20. I don't have a fake ID anymore, but.
Anymore.
I never did, Mom. Promise. Actually, she really doesn't give a fuck. Actually,
I actually never had a fake ID.
We had this Serbian dude. We had this Serbian dude on our campus, and we would all pack him in the car. We'd buy him like food or something, and he'd walk out of the store with like 2 bags full of liquor and everything. And so he'd just like pass it out on school, get paid for it. But yeah, and then once I stopped drinking for a while there, I started smoking for a while. I don't know. I just started taking care of my body more.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're still smoking, but...
Yeah.
I mean, the main reason I was really binge smoking and buying half-hours every 2 weeks, my plug was my best friend at the time. We worked at the same place.
Yeah,
hard to say no to that. Yeah.
Y'all would smoke a lot.
Smoke before we go into work, smoke after.
And I feel like the thing about weed is like weed and alcohol are so similar, like to where in moderation I feel like it's okay. Like a little bit here and there is no big deal, but it's when it becomes a daily occurrence that I feel like that's where it crosses the line.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I absolutely feel that.
Because it should be treated as like a reward.
Yes.
For working hard throughout the week. Like, ooh, I get to have this lunch.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my a guy that I play softball with.
Reward.
A guy that I play softball with. He's in his mid-40s, and he does plumbing, and so he's got 2 kids. He works in his plumbing. He works Monday to Friday, like probably 50, 60 hours a week.
Busting his ass.
And he says he as soon as he gets off, he wants to come home. He'll smoke a blunt and he'll chill, hang out with his kids, you know, and like it's good to have that as a reward.
Yeah.
But doing it like all day, every day, like I know
waking up and smoking before you've even done anything.
When I was working at GE, there was 50-year-olds coming in loaded as hell.
Some people just
see when you wake and bake, you're just preparing for a shit day.
Yeah, you basically set yourself up for failure that day. Like no matter what, you're not going to get as much done as you could.
Exactly, because you could be high at work and you'd be okay, and then once you stop once you're not high anymore, you're kind of just dragging at that point. Like, well, it was never that way with me at where I used to work, because you guys know I would get fucked on the daily. Do you remember how bad that used to be?
Yeah.
My God, I would go into work. It was like 20 degrees outside. I would go into work with like a hoodie, heavy coat, shorts underneath my sweatpants. And like by the time I get to where I'm working, I'd be in shorts and a tank top.
Yeah.
Because I'd be sweating like crazy.
Jeez.
My God, dude, I was so underpaid.
He probably had sweaty icicles on his nipples.
Golly.
Wow.
Bro, I would have to run outside for like 2 minutes just to cool down because it was so hot. And
His nipples definitely gross.
This is in UPS?
Yeah.
And you're saying it's hot as fucking there.
Oh yeah, especially because I was working on D scale, so I've got the E-reg packages because he works in restricteds. So they'd bring me cans of like packages that were like anywhere from 80 to 100.
80 to
100.
80 to 200 plus pounds.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I also had a belt for those too. So.
And they would expect you to lift that shit by yourself?
I would have to.
Right. So not necessarily. So we would really lift it up, put it on the belt for him. The belt would push it towards him. And then if you want to, you could put it on the cart.
But they only get the overflow. That like if a package has a messed up like scanner or anything like that, but the normal ones that have like the scanner's good, it's not too heavy. It comes down the belt
to you. And
I also got regular packages that people miss when people fuck up and their package just can't flow down their chute.
So
I would have to
Yeah, I worked at FedEx for like
summer.
No, like 3.5 weeks. So I don't know how it compares to UPS. I'm guessing it's similar, but at FedEx it was like I couldn't understand why anyone would work that job, because like with UPS, I understand they're paying for your school. Like that's a huge asset. Like it makes it make sense to me. But like FedEx, they weren't doing shit for that. There was no tuition assistance, or if it was something stupid like $1,000 a semester, which isn't shit. And then the shift was terrible. It was in the middle of the fucking night, and then you're just getting basically whored the whole time, like, and told to hurry up, go faster, and you're like, but I get paid by the hour.
Yeah,
so
that's the
why am I hustling?
I'm not getting paid by the job.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid by the per box I move.
That's the beautiful thing about my
yeah,
position now, because I mean I've been at UPS for 5 years, so I've had all the shittiest jobs: the loaders, the unloaders, the upstairs,
Fortunate not to do loads.
small
like that.
scale, small sort, and now I'm driving a tug. I pretty much make my own schedule. Like I go in, it'll be time for me to drive. I'll get done with my drive, and I'll go talk to Justin. I don't go back into my workplace for another 30, 40 minutes until it's time to drive again. So
When y'all have like 15 people in there running,
and I'm gone. I don't have to hear like hurry up, speed
no
up, speed up.
micromanaging
There's
type deal.
I don't even
That's
really
the worst
see
part.
my soup sometimes, and it's just awesome, man.
But see, with
but it
my
wasn't always that way. I had to work up to get to that way.
Yeah, when I was working at UPS, my supervisor was super chill with me. I was her favorite. She won't admit that.
Oh, she let you come in like 2 hours late. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
That's
she would let
love.
me, she would let me come in
That's
2 hours
weird.
late.
I wish I
Still
had
say
like
that I was in at the start time. So I would those 2 hours.
Did you take her down or something?
No, she was gay. she was
Yeah.
gay.
She's
She dated
gay.
one of my homies that I went to school with, one of my girl homies. But no, so she would I would basically run that whole posse with her. Which the only reason I left was really because I tried to get a supervisor position, and they hired a girl with absolutely no experience. We
That's
still
how.
good?
Yeah, we're still good.
Cool.
Had to check.
That's how UPS rolls.
They
bro.
hired a girl with absolutely no experience because she was a supervisor's cousin.
Yeah.
And I was working that job for straight up, like running posies for 10 months.
Well, yeah, we had a full timer that would only hire you if you were an attractive blonde girl. Like even men,
Oh, no,
like
no.
even men that had been there for 5 years and were definitely qualified. If there was a blonde girl that came in and applied, he would like, and it wasn't even a joke. Like it started off as a joke, and then you'd walk around and you'd be like, it's
Like most of the supervisors
it's like
inside the wing.
it's like
are
he's
female.
starting his own like cult, like Hitler did, like blue eyes, blonde hair. That's what he would do. Like that was his hiring process. Blue eyes, blonde hair. Yep, got you.
That's all he wanted to look
Might have
at
to put in
walking
some
around the
contacts
office.
and dye my hair again or something.
That might be what it takes. Yeah.
That guy did was a little feely too. I remember hearing some stories.
Yeah.
About him.
Oh, that's
A little
never good.
handsy inside UPS.
Well, what you got next on the list for us? Nick?
So I had a couple other topics. We kind of talked about this a little bit on the first podcast episode. We didn't expand on it. The benefit of youth sports, kind of getting involved at a young age. What benefits are that?
That's another thing.
Team
because-
building, also just getting in shape.
Yeah, your kid will
Yeah.
be obese. when
My
you
whole
McDonald's
life
every day.
changed.
Yeah, that's
My
a key.
whole life changed in 7th grade. In Catholic schools and probably other football leagues, they have a rule where if you're over a certain amount of weight limit, they put a big X on your helmet. You cannot touch the ball. You have to be.
You can't be a running
you have
back,
to be
right?
a lineman. You have to
Yeah,
block.
I remember that.
I'm not letting my kid get obese.
My whole life,
Yeah,
my
I
whole
agree.
life, I was
Fuck that.
overweight and I had the X on my helmet. And I'm like, man, one summer I just said, you know what, man, linemen don't get no pussy. I'm trying to be the quarterback. I want to be, I want to be out there. And so I go into conditioning.
kinda true.
Conditioning is 1 month before the season starts, and I'm 30 pounds over weight limit. And I had told myself all summer, I'm like, I'll be underweight. I thought I was underweight.
Wow.
Hop on the scale, 30 pounds over. So I was given, 30, 35 days to be under that weight limit. And I lost 35 pounds in a month.
Holy
Literally. And
How was that physically
this is a true
possible?
story. You can
Pound a
ask,
day?
ask my brother and my father. I went from having big tits to literally rib cage showing. And my dad was a wrestler in high school, which was a wrestler in the 80s. So back then, they would lose 12 pounds a day cutting weight for wrestling.
No
so,
big deal.
so he's like, oh, a month? I can drop you 30 pounds. So it was just intense training every day. Like
So-
sweatpants and
What-
then a garbage bag, running, come back, push-ups, run, come back, squats.
Did you change your diet at all?
Oh, yes.
What was
Like,
the big difference on the diet?
Well, I didn't eat anything fried. Like grilled chicken was what I would live off of. Pretty much grilled chicken every day, and then fruits. Like
Fruits.
staying hydrated, drinking water, no sodas. But I mean, the diet was like, I was such a young kid. I didn't know much about dieting, so I was like, I'll eat grilled chicken, and I probably wasn't getting all my nutrients, vegetable wise. But I was not eating anything that was like high in calories.
And even considering you did that for a shorter time, like I don't think that's as big of a deal to be maybe lacking in some stuff. Now, if you did that for you're straight without
I was-
vegetables and stuff, maybe that'd be a
I was
problem.
a fat fuck kid. I was like 230 in 8th grade.
But
6 foot.
before we
Damn.
transition, like that summer, me losing that weight, I did get to run the ball. So I got that goal of like, yes, dude, I achieved this. I started getting more girls once I lost all that weight. I used to go to the pool and I would sit like this, right, to cover up the tits and cover up the belly. Me and Brandon, this was our pose.
Wow.
Peace, he still knows it well.
I embrace my belly.
He was too. He was too.
belly.
I embrace
That's a
my
sturdy belly.
fucking belly.
Hey,
So
I was chilling. This is my relaxed.
Bro was listening to you.
Hey,
Hey,
real
relax
talk.
pose.
Why have a 6-pack when you can have a keg?
That's true.
Yeah.
But I remember we went on a
Power
field
too.
trip. We went on a field
I
trip
got
with the whole
bitches with
school.
dad
Or
bod.
it was
Just like the dad
it was
bod.
Camp Earl Wallace. Remember Camp Earl Wallace?
Yeah.
So we would go to
I'm
the
not gonna do this no more. Fuck this guy, man. Fuck this guy.
He
You
ruined
don't
it.
have all his arms on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Hey,
I
let's
see.
sit like a step.
There
Put
you
your
go.
arm over here.
But yeah, man.
There you
So
go.
so
There you
I
go.
remember going to the swimming pool with all the girls from our school, and I remember sitting like this and being so. I actually tried to get out of the swim meet. I actually tried to hide back at the cabin, and they said, "Nick, you have to come get your swimming lessons." And I'm like, "Fuck," because my crush there, and I'm sitting like this. And after that summer, I was able to go to the pool like this, and it changed my whole life. That football team. You know, being able to
That's-
lose
so-
that weight. My whole
and
life,
that's
like
a-
more confident, got more girls. I walked around different. I
That's
talked to
another-
different. Everything changed.
That's
that year.
another thing. The schools would be a lot better if they did more with the kids too. Like
Not just like sports.
they start them young too.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sports wise, but like I get that this inner city schools can't get a lot of funding, and I understand that. But you have elementary school. You have sports. They have sports now. We didn't have a basketball team in elementary school.
Yeah.
But you have like a science club or.
Yeah.
You have like robotics or something.
Well, that
So
goes
I want to tie that back into what, like, almost what we were talking about with the popularity. Like, I vividly remember like being so desperate to be cool growing up. Like, that's all I wanted was to be cool. And like when you see the quote unquote like cool people downing the people that are in the science club,
Yeah.
downing the people that are in band, like basically making it seem like that's a bad thing, and you start to embrace that mindset of like, oh yeah, that shit's for lame people. Like, when in all reality, that's the type of shit you should be doing. Like, that's the type of shit that builds your character, makes you smarter, long term is going to benefit you. And that's something I look back on. I wish I would have done more
Same.
stuff like
That's just
that.
kids being.
Dude,
Like,
I
it
think-
is kids being kids.
I
yeah.
think about this a
kids
lot,
being
and I was
kids.
thinking about this the other day, and it might. Like, I'm trying to make this short, but like the people that we used to think was weird, right? And like, all right, so say the cool kids, right? Like, think about like a cool kid. Like, what do you do? Like, okay, you smoke, you go to the gym.
You
like,
don't take school seriously, right?
Like,
You
all
don't
right,
care about
so
your
you're
grades.
the cool kid,
Like,
right? What do? You don't do shit. And then the weird kid, right? He's a fucking chess pro. He can knock out a Rubik's cube real quick.
Math equations
He knows a
are
couple
easy
of,
for him.
like, that's cool as
He's
fuck.
real
so
good
now
at-
I'm
yeah.
now I'm like.
Chemistry is a no-brainer.
I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the weird.
quick.
I'm like weird. Like, if you're weird, that's cool because at least there's something about you. Like a cool guy. Like, I even think about myself sometimes. I'm like, I was just smoking weed and hanging out with girls playing basketball. But like, what's interesting about me? Like, there's a lot of stuff up here, and that I can. But what do I actually do? And I'm like, I'm not cool. I thought I was cool. I'm not cool. Like the dude, like I said, do the Rubik's cube or does a 500-word puzzle, or the guy that put a computer together. He's cool. Like, that's who I want to hang around with. Fuck the
Yeah.
cool kids that smoke weed
Yeah.
that don't have any hobbies.
So here's the thing.
weird kids, that's cool.
Here's the
And I
thing.
wish we had that perception in high school, and I wish
Yeah.
we joined the debate
Oh,
team
yeah.
and the chess club, and
And-
'cause that's cool.
So,
Middle school-
When I
Middle
was-
school and high school, it really changed. I'll let you.
Yeah.
finish.
I'm tying
I'm
into it.
gonna stay quick. Middle school and high school, it was totally different for me. I went to a private middle school. I was
Same for
younger.
me
I wasn't
and Justin.
tall. I was kind of annoying. Oh man, I would have beat the shit out of myself. If my younger self walked in that door right now, I'm rocking him in his
Yeah.
shit, bro. But and then as soon as I got into high school, I hit my growth spurt, puberty and everything. Started playing sports more. I never was cool in middle school and even like freshman sophomore year. I wouldn't say I was cool. I wasn't even cool in high school. I just was doing my own
I got
thing.
humbled a lot when I went to high school because I went to a small Catholic private school where I'm not gonna say I was the shit, but like in my grade,
You were cooler than most of your other classes.
in my
I'll
grade,
let you know that.
I was the guy. Like they would kind of fight at lunch to sit next to me. So all my friends were older. So I was good at sports. I was kind of cool, right? I got humbled so much going to J-Town where it's like,
Oh my god, whole different
you're
like, group of
a
people.
weirdo,
Yeah.
you're a nerd, like. What are you talking
So
about?
like when I was in elementary school, I was actually on the quick recall team, like 4th or 5th grade. Like in elementary school, it wasn't that way. It was like being good in school,
and that's like trivia, right? Quick recall is like
like facts and shit.
My little brother does it.
And that shit was, I remember it was like, that was what almost cool in elementary school, was to be like smart, was to be like on teams like that, like to be involved in like stuff like that.
Shit happens in middle school.
All of a sudden you get to middle school and it's like, it's the basketball players or whatever that are cool. It's the kids that don't give a fuck, that are cussing, like getting in trouble, are cool.
Sagging the pants.
And all of a sudden you're like, well, if that's cool, like I want to be cool. And it makes, like for me personally, I completely went away from that. Stopped hanging out with the people I was hanging out with. All of a sudden I want to try to fit in. And I started like picking up all these bad habits.
Well, that's the worst thing, because when you're not that, and when you try to be that, then you get lost in this sauce of this area where it's like you're not even one of those bad kids, cool kids. So it's like you're trying to be that. That just makes like now you're not the quick recall smart kid.
Yeah, you're not
this,
who you were.
So you're just somewhere in the middle trying to be this, and it's that's just lame.
It's toxic.
Middle school really sucked for me because I never fit in with the cool kids or the weird kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I hung out
You were
with...
too big and strong to be with the nerds, but you weren't...
cool enough to be with Caden.
You weren't cool enough to be with the athletes, but was too athletic to be with the nerds.
So here's the thing. In middle school, I played 3 sports. Baseball, soccer, basketball.
Yeah.
I played 3 sports. And you know how many people I sat next to at lunch?
None. One.
One person.
Yep.
That kid is at Florida. He's at Florida State. He's majoring in marine biology, I think.
Oh, I was doing that back in high school.
He's about to be making money.
Yep.
And he's up.
It was weird.
And that
He's
too,
up.
and that
And he
too
was
about
a
the weird
weirdo.
about the weird kids now. Like check in on them. I bet they're doing pretty good.
I'm
not talking about like the weird, like the dinosaur, like the no offense, we don't have to blame this out, the Trevor Weichels or the Douglas Scarboroughs. You know, the kids that would eat their shirt in middle school.
That is weird. That is weird.
Not those kids.
But he is autistic.
And not Justin Michael.
That's completely different.
But the other kids, I bet they're doing well because they didn't fall into the trap of being accepted and doing drugs and chasing pussy, which I did. You know, I was chasing girls in high school, and then so you stop focusing on what your purpose is.
It's a trap, and that's something that happens. I feel like as a boy, like at that 13 age where like you hit puberty and like all of a sudden your brain's different.
Your buddy tells you he just made out with some chick,
and that's all you want is that.
You're a bozo.
That's all you want.
I got a question for you boys. Were y'all ever taught how to deal with your emotions when you were growing up? Were you ever taught that?
I mean, it was just me. It's just been me and my mom.
Because girls, they're like, it's good to show emotions. It's okay to deal with your emotions.
And girls will get together and talk about their emotions. But if
guys,
you're a dude, you start saying some
shit. Shut up, man up.
You get
pussy out.
You get
I was going to say this earlier when we were talking about the schooling system.
I would like to see for being somewhat.
I would like to see some type of
they don't want that.
For every school, some type of like therapy course. Like some type of therapy where like once a week, right? You get brought in. Every student gets at least once a week where they get brought in one-on-one session. How's things at home? Because sometimes those kids are.
I miss her too. She was cool.
Miss Sipe or whatever.
Miss Sipe.
Yeah, but we would meet her with her 3 times out the year, and it was a class setting. I'm saying once a week, each student, because something could happen. Their mom gets drunk and has a tantrum at home. Their dad comes home and has. Or they're low, they can't afford food, and you're going to school expecting them to perform at the highest level and to have a great attitude
and focus on fucking whatever you're teaching,
and they have no avenue of talking. You know,
See,
I think every week they should have at least.
I know we were
session.
talking about it earlier. So it wasn't until my senior year at Fern Creek that they had a life skills 101 class.
Yeah, well, I heard I
never even had that.
We learned about plate settings. How to cook meals. We cook meals in class. The only reason most people showed up is just to eat in that class.
Yeah,
isn't that fucking crazy?
And then we had one day out of the year as seniors that we went outside, learned how to change a tire.
Life skills. Yeah.
We went across the street to the church, learned about budgeting and shit like that.
I like that course.
It was awesome, but I wish they would have done it more. Because it would really set up a lot of kids for the better.
Yeah, and that should have started in probably elementary school.
What I was talking about,
and then been a class you take every single year.
I saw all my buddies that work with this. Y'all remember J.A. Biztown?
Shout out to J.A. Business. The best field trip. The best field trip.
Look it up. We'll love that
when
place.
when you're that age, you're looking at it as a field trip to have fun and goof around. You're not like actually learning much about it, right? Which if they did teach you how to like how to equivalate your checkbook or balance
I
your
remember
checkbook.
write a check.
But like, here's the thing: it's kind of hard to try to teach elementary school kids.
I think they
how
should
to
do a
budget
J.A.
a check. You
Biztown
should do it
thing
as a high school.
Definitely
junior
high school,
year.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that's when you can actually, I feel like, you bring a bunch of 7th graders. Like, we were just happy to be out of school. Like, it's so weird, especially, also, this is another topic, is like shielding your kids from stuff when they're young can be very bad, detrimental to them, because then it becomes taboo.
Coddling them,
what happens when you're a kid and a sex scene comes on TV?
My little brother
Eyes, right? So then all you're thinking in
movies.
your little 10-year-old head is, man, I wonder what boobies look like.
My mother,
Right? So you're looking up porn now.
You should know. You sucked on when you were little.
My mother has let my little brother, he's now 9. A couple years ago, she let him watch both It movies. He's gone to Field of Screams with me multiple times.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's probably
as he's getting older, he's just maturing.
That's what I was gonna say. It's probably matured him faster.
He's maturing so quick.
Yeah.
And it could be a bad thing, but really, I haven't seen.
No, it's
anything.
definitely a
I haven't
much better
seen any.
thing.
I haven't seen
I'd say it's a
anything
good
but
thing.
There's two
improvement.
sides to it, which there's that side, and then there's girls in high school I knew that their mom would buy them pills. Like, yeah, my mom just got me some pills. My mom got me drugs. They're doing drugs with their parents and stuff like that. And then those girls end up pregnant, or when you have somebody who's allowing too much to go on.
Club.
Like my dad, I'm not trying to air no dirty laundry, but he allowed me to smoke in the house when I was in high school. But I was already to the point where I matured early. So when I was like 17, 18, he was looking at me like as his grown child.
Like you're a man
not
now,
like
kinda.
his baby.
I know y'all know my nephew Ryan.
Yeah.
He's about to be 10 this March 17th.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day, baby.
Yeesh.
Bro, he's matured. So he's mature for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's definitely from Austin being his dad. He's being a great dad.
Having young parents is definitely the wave.
I mean, they had him at 15 and 16.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were that
Wow.
Teen Mom
Literally
TLC
Teen Mom.
show, bro.
Actually,
8th grade, I was a fucking uncle.
Actually, I knew a girl.
I got you beat because 2nd grade I was an uncle, but
I actually know a girl that was on TLC.
I'm actually
It didn't affect your
I'm
life
actually
or
a great
vacation.
I'm actually a great
Yeah.
uncle. My nephew
Can't
has a
talk
daughter, so I'm actually a great uncle at 23.
That's-
Yeah, all right, Preston. Yeah.
You ramble so much.
Hey, I just
it's all
wanted to
good.
say-
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's a podcast, baby.
We're
That's
talking-
what-
we
that's
are
what we're
talking.
doing.
I know a girl. We went to high school together, and we were cool in like middle school. She was on TLC Unexpected.
Are you
Her
serious?
name's
Are you serious?
Her name's Haley.
Whoa.
She was on there with her boyfriend. There's a clip of them that went viral. She's got like 30K on Instagram now.
Damn.
But now she's got 2 kids, I think. But no, so she got pregnant at 14, and her boyfriend was 15, and so yeah, they got on the show.
Damn, they learned about that quick.
Oh yeah. But,
I mean, I can vouch for it. I
yeah.
hit puberty in like 4th grade.
Yeah.
a lot of.
Damn.
I didn't
That was
hit
probably
puberty until I didn't fully hit
Probably
puberty
like
sophomore year.
for real?
Yeah.
I feel like me was probably 8th grade.
Dude,
I mean,
I didn't hit puberty
Bro,
until
hitting
late,
puberty-
roughly.
man.
I was later. I feel like my
Bro,
I
hitting
was
puberty,
late. I think it was more freshman year.
hitting puberty into 4th grade, beginning of 5th grade, fucking sucked going to that Catholic school because it didn't allow beards. Because by 6th grade, I could grow this beard.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Same beard you have right now.
Yes.
That's
My mom was
nuts.
crying, teaching me how to fucking shave.
I
Young.
can see that.
See, that's what
I love
I
Mama Robs.
Mama Rob, she loves y'all too.
Oh, I miss her. I
Y'all
haven't seen
just
her
rowdy.
Ever.
that's nuts.
We're always.
I'm trying to think. I remember
We're
in the
boys.
in the 6th grade, like there was a kid, like one kid in the class had a mustache. So to think of you with a full beard is like that's
Full
different.
beard 6th grade,
That's
bro.
different. Yeah.
That's insane.
You will, if you go back to my probably grade school yearbook photos, you'll probably see a bunch of red bumps on my neck and face just because from the razor burn.
And you didn't know what you're doing.
Bro,
like,
we got.
No, I'd shave with the grain, but like just a razor would just. I guess my skin's a bitch.
We'd
You know,
have
too sensitive.
We'd have J Rob out here with a full beard and me sounding like a fucking chipmunk.
I'm sure you matured quicker than Justin Bieber though. That man's balls didn't drop till he was like 25.
That
He
is
did have a
kinda
light
true.
voice.
Is he 25? I feel like he just turned 25.
I don't
He's not
know
that
how
much
old
older
he
than
is.
us.
He is older than us. I think
I
he was
think
being
he-
like
I think he's
younger.
195. I think he's the
Damn.
same.
I think he hit puberty when he was like 21.
I think he's the same age as my older brother because he had like the same hairstyle and looked like the same age.
The Bieber cut.
He's definitely older
Revolutionary.
than us. I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right, bet.
I guess we could take a look.
Oh, he was born in 1994.
Yeah, he's
So how old is he?
94? Damn,
I
didn't think
well,
he was
I'm
being
20.
that
I thought you said Justin Bieber was 94.
old. Oh, I'll tell you shit.
He was born in 1994. So, well, my sister's 28. He's probably 27.
Yeah, he probably is 27.
Bro, I sit around with these motherfuckers, right? Dude, I'm 20 years old. He's what?
I'm 24, going to be 25 in October.
23, about to be 24.
Nick's 23.
2 or 23.
23.
He's 23. I'm 20.
Hey,
I feel
baby.
so young.
Hey,
around my friend group.
I'm like you back in high school. I did not have I hardly had any friends.
Just
Freshman year.
Justin Bieber's 28. Just to continue on.
Alright, but like I had more friends as seniors than I did freshmen.
Oh, I was the same way.
Me, my older brother, my older sister all went to the same high school. My brother, being the spoiled little boy he is, got to go to Trinity.
Yeah.
God, I can only imagine. I was in
I'm
public
glad-
school
honestly,
my
I'm
whole
glad I
life.
went to Trinity
After that
because
whole
I didn't-
lacrosse-
That's where you
I
went,
didn't
was
go to
Trinity?
I'm glad I went to Seneca. It
Oh,
gave me
Seneca.
character, bro.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's
Turned me
what-
into a little bitch.
Going to
After
public.
that lacrosse
Go
thing that happened at, it was either St. X or Trinity. The whole lacrosse
What
incident.
lacrosse?
Did you
St.
know-
X.
No, I don't
The
know.
kid with the lacrosse stick
They put a
No, the hockey stick. They put a hockey
did
stick
hear
up his
about
ass.
that.
and recorded it and shit.
I'm pretty sure that kid's
Yeah.
gonna go shoot up the school at some point. in
Yeah,
time.
you're not kidding. That'd fuck you up for life. Some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm
happens.
glad I went to
being
a public
held
school.
down and having
bro.
a hockey stick shot.
Hope you're all right, bro. All right, hope you're
Yeah,
all
we're
right.
praying for your
Sad.
booty hole.
And you mentally.
But yes,
More,
that's
more importantly, yeah.
Yeah, that dude. I'm so glad I didn't go to a school like that.
See, and that's
glad I
even,
didn't go to an
that's
all-boys
weird
school,
too. You
bro.
said that was a Trinity.
yeah.
So like
Saint X.
Saint X. All right. So for me, as going to public school, I think of Saint X like is like a that's like the good school. Like
The
that's
school to
where
go to.
that's where you're gonna be safe at. Like no bullshit's gonna happen to you. So then to hear you say that, it's like
You're dead
well,
wrong.
evidently it's everywhere.
A lot of those
you know.
dudes are-
That's where ESTG went. He went to St. X. He was a star football player for them for 4 years and went to play college football actually
Wow.
on scholarship before he turned into a gangster.
Damn.
And that's
Wait.
I feel like that's Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that is just Louisville. Like, it's just the way it is here. Like, it's just, you know, it's a big city. You know.
You either
Yeah.
become a rap,
I wish it was a
rap
beautiful
star
city too.
or a trap
Like,
star.
we honestly lack a lot of color in our city. We got a lot of gray and dark buildings.
Man, thank goodness for the parks they put in. If you really think about it, like those parks are like
Turkey Run Park.
that's a step in the right direction. Like shit like that, like making the outskirts of the city nice as well as you know
I don't think
downtown. Like
They're also making a botanical garden.
Yeah.
Botanical garden.
Botanical garden. Yeah.
I heard about that. I think.
I see a preview of it.
you
It
wanna
looks
talk about?
gorgeous.
Badass.
I can't wait to take my dog there and have him poop on their lawn.
Well,
I'll clean it up for sure.
Well,
You heard it here. You
I was
heard it
gonna
here.
bounce off him about the parks and everything because like I go hoop up at McNeely or Highview Park all the time. and,
Long
like,
runs are going.
Hey,
like,
Beckley Creek Park on the way out to Simpsonville, that's a really nice park.
I love Beckley. Beckley, I take Maggie there on walks.
The one thing
all
that
time.
sucks there is the river. They had you got kayaking because it's dirty as hell. Apparently,
Oh, it's brown.
It's
we
a-
used to party. We used to
it's
party
like-
out there in high school with the little rope swing.
yeah.
You know where the rope
Everyone
swing's at? We'd swing off that thing.
Doesn't the water in that creek, like that river, come from like a sewer or something?
I don't know.
It just doesn't. I've
It
heard
doesn't-
that. I've heard that you're not supposed to swim in that water.
You're really not.
You're just supposed to
Not
kayak.
even
in it.
supposed to fish in
What do
that
you
water either.
what water?
Beckley.
Beckley Creek's park.
Beckley Creek.
They have kayaks you
Tossing
can rent
line,
there,
too.
but they say don't swim or fish in the water.
We're all getting a little parched over here.
Well, anything y'all want to say?
Video. This podcast is sponsored by.
No free advertisements, man. No
No,
free
it's
sponsors.
sponsored. He's paying for this episode.
Oh, you paying? Can I get a crib?
Yeah.
No
You will.
free.
Shit, let
One
let
day.
the homies get the crib,
One
man.
day.
Logan
No
Paul
free
still fucks.
advertisements,
Logan
man.
Paul still fuck with you. Even
Hide
after
y'all's
the-
logos. Hide y'all's logos. No free advertisement.
I still fuck with you after that
How do
Japan.
How do I?
Japan thing.
So
That
anything
shit
y'all
was
want
crazy.
to
I watched
y'all want
that
to get to before
not
we wrap
that
it
long
up
ago.
today?
We talked about that on the last podcast too.
He was definitely stupid for putting that out there.
Yeah.
I
I saw
I got something for
like
you.
a short video of some of his coworkers telling him like, "Hey, bro, I don't think we should put this in there. I don't know what was going on in his head that made him leave that in there,
Yeah.
or why they were on the
Well, and
for a
he
dead body in the
came
first
came
place.
out and said that like you know like he really does regret like he's got his whole apology and even if you see when it gets brought up like on his podcast to this day he's like you know shakes his head like you know that was not it.
He was a kid, man.
And yeah, he was.
He
young,
was-
like-
he was just
He was
looking
a
for views.
famous kid that was trying to make the money.
He always got a million plus views.
And in a way, did that not kind of work in his favor? Like looking at where he's at now,
he's matured so much.
I mean,
like it's crazy to look at somebody like that who was, how old was he? 23 when it happened.
No,
probably
younger.
like 20, 22.
Probably, because he's like saying he's 23 right now, right?
He's like 26, 27. He might
Logan Paul?
Yeah, he's like 27, I think.
Let's see.
Oh,
yeah, no, you're right. I was 26. 26.
Yeah, so to see how you can still be maturing, I just love seeing how an instance like that can
change a person,
change the fabric of who you are as a person. Because, I didn't really fuck with Logan or Jake Paul that much. Like, I thought they were just kind of douchebags. But now looking at Logan, he's just grown from that experience so much. He's turned into a real cool dude.
Logan's content was a bit more mature than Jake Paul's, though. I couldn't really get into watch Jake Paul's video. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't.
I've never seen a Jake Paul YouTube video in my life. I promise I never have. I never watched any Logan either. Like I knew about them once this boxing stuff really came out.
I didn't really start getting familiar with them probably till his podcast.
Like I remember seeing this little Pikachu hat and seeing a picture. But I never saw the video. I didn't even know what it was about.
He's wearing like one of the aliens from Toy Story.
Whatever he's wearing. See, that just shows how much.
Those little guys. They have 3 eyes.
Oh yeah, the little
look like one of the little aliens.
Little green guys.
I forget what they're called.
Man, that whole instance was insane. But yeah,
I don't get why you bring a camera to the Suicide Forest and look for a dead body.
Exactly. Yeah,
like that shouldn't have been a plan
from the jump. Yeah, somebody should have been like, well, wait a minute.
You should have just gone to fucking.
If they're gonna do anything, like, we're gonna go through the forest to go hike up the mountain. That could have been something. They don't have to go looking for shit.
I'll go ahead and say we're going to bring this to you all on YouTube. We want you guys to interact with us. Comment below. I'm going to get a text line set up where you guys can text in ideas, different debate topics, or just if you guys believe something that we believe, just piggyback off that. Tell us your guys' experience.
Yeah, and we love sitting here and talking to you guys because, like, we've got good heads on our shoulders and our opinion. We got different opinions. We've all lived different lives.
Plenty of different experiences.
I just think it's gonna be real good, and we're very authentic.
I got some great stories I can tell y'all in the future,
and that's the biggest key. Is we want to keep doing this. We want you guys to be involved. We want you to let us know what you think, even if you disagree with what we're saying or with the message we're trying to send out. Like, let us know that because we want to know what you guys want from us.
Because we're coming from your all standpoint, from listening and watching podcasters. And want to know your input on what we need to do to get better.
And especially because this is the Hometown Podcast, as it's named, and what we've kind of based it around. We want to talk about our hometown, but at the end of the day, we want to actually do something about it. We want to use our voice to make change in our hometown because everything's looking pretty bleak lately, man.
It is looking rough.
And so, if we can help make change, even the slightest bit of change. That mean the world to us, and I know
just breathe a little bit of positivity back into this.
That's it, yeah. Positive impact. I think that's probably our main goal, and
gotta be.
We want to try and make this city better, not just for us, but for everybody.
Absolutely.
So we touched a lot of bases today, in the podcast with like the school system and the homeless and stuff like that, and we'll definitely bring more of that perspective to these stuff. But we'd love to hear from you guys and get to know what you guys like to hear, and we'll work it into everything.
So, if you stayed to this point, we appreciate you spending some time with us.
Hell yeah.
Thanks as always for supporting the team. We're trying to build something special here. Episode 2.
Yes,
we're improving each week. So again, thank you guys. We'll be back on the same place, same time next week.
Thank you, J. Rob.
Thank you, J. Rob,
for coming on again. You already know, big guy.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening, man. It's been pretty fun. And we just got a lot more fun left in.
We're excited for all this new content we're going to bring you guys.
We're going to have plenty of conversations that y'all definitely going to want to hear.
So definitely, L's up, even if you're a Cats fan.
And we out, baby.
We out of here.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we need. Yeah.